All right, welcome back to another Zero Downtime podcast. How you doing today, Logan?
Doing well. How are you, John?
Oh, I'm doing good. So today we're going to talk about a few things. One, how I think we should fix the Olympics. I know we alluded to this one a few weeks ago, but I just want to cement it.
Can't wait.
All right. We're going to talk about how Google had to pay a $68 million fine for spying. And it's one of those things like we've always known it's happening, but this just kind of makes it known. We're going to talk about Notepad++ vulnerabilities. We're going to talk about Moltbook and why CloudBot is no more. We're going to talk about the new AirTags. The new Galaxy phone is out. The end of the 8K TVs. And lastly, the employee that outsourced himself. But first, the meme of the day. I finally get to use a Mitch Hedberg.
Would you like Mitch Hedberg?
I do like. He's one of my favorite comedians. I think there's another one that's similar. Stephen Wright is another one that's kind of like the just says the one-liners and that's it.
Yep.
So today's Mitch Hedberg is, I used to do drugs. I still do drugs, but I used to too. All right. So how's your week been?
It's been good.
Yeah.
We finally got to have our Christmas party.
We did.
Last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. We went to Sioux City.
I am not much of a game player, but we did an arcade thing. And since I'm not much of a game player anyways, I've never like defeated a video game. But since we had unlimited tokens, I decided to spend my time on this one shooting game, and I beat it.
And did you enjoy yourself while you did it?
I did. I've never beat a video game. And I will say, I expected more at the ending. It was literally like, good job. And then it was the credits.
Scan to play again.
I was very disappointed in the in all of that. But yeah, we had a nice supper down at Archie's Wayside in Lamar's.
Yes, that was very good.
That's nice. And I was so full, I couldn't even have ice cream at the Wells Blue Bloody.
Yes, we stopped at the ice cream parlor after for dessert for anyone who was still hungry.
Yeah, and there were a few, but not me. I would say that our staff is pretty young, and so they've got really good metabolism and can really
they were ready for ice cream.
Put it down. Can I tell my car story?
I don't know which one you're going to go with,
okay.
but you go ahead.
All right. So my wife and I recently just bought a car, and we went to Sioux Falls and we looked at two different kinds of cars: a Hyundai Palisade and a Jeep Grand Cherokee L. So they're both 3-row cars. And we decided to go with the Hyundai Palisade. Now, we don't have a Hyundai dealer here in Spencer. So that was kind of a concern of mine about what if I needed service on the car. Yep. So the car we wanted was the Calligraphy. So that's like the electric gas hybrid. Because I kind of like electric cars, and the idea that you have a hybrid so you never run out of electric.
Yep. Because
obviously for me, electric, I get anxiety. Right?
Yes.
So they didn't have it at the dealer. So they got it from another dealer in Omaha, drove it up.
And you should say they didn't have the color you wanted, because didn't you test drive
we
color?
did test drive one, and it wasn't it might have been the Calligraphy, I don't remember. But yeah, we wanted this brass color, whatever. And so they got it from the Omaha dealer, brought it up to Sioux Falls, and then did whatever they do there, brought it to me, and I brought it to my wife at work and traded out cars. And she sends me a message and said, hey, the windshield washer fluid isn't working. So I got home and I looked, and sure enough, the windshield washer fluid was empty. And I thought, well, they probably drove it up from Omaha, and it was kind of like during the storm season, so they probably used it a lot and then washed the car or whatever. So I had Ethan pick up some more windshield washer fluid, and I put it in, and the next morning it was empty. Weird.
Yep.
So I call up to the dealer, and they say, well, just you can bring it to us. And I'm like, well, you're 2 hours away and it's windshield washer fluid. I need it, but whatever. So at the shop, I put some in, and we saw it kind of shooting out of the hoses. So the dealer agreed to come and pick it up. So whatever. So they came back the next day, brought the car back, windshield washer fluid's all good. Like 3 days later, the service engine light comes on. What? And my wife was driving to swim meet in Mason City or something. And we didn't know what was going on. Every reader I would plug in, like it must be some kind of new ODB2 that I don't know about, wouldn't give me the code. Finally, we looked in the app, and the app showed the code, and it was some kind of emissions code. So we were able to call Hyundai. They towed it to Sioux City instead of Sioux Falls. We bought the car in Sioux Falls.
And they took it to Sioux City because that was the closest.
That's
Hyundai.
The closest by like 3 miles. anyways, the appointment was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By 1:20, they had already sent my wife a message and they knew exactly what the problem was. And it was chewed through wires. And I thought that was kind of suspicious, right?
Yep.
20 minutes and they knew what was wrong. Like, I've seen this before. So anyways, I called the dealer in Sioux Falls and say, these wires are chewed through. And I talked to the service manager, and the service manager was, well, you must have a mouse in the garage, blah, 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 blah. And so then I talked to the guy who I bought the car from, and he said, well, we've had 5 or 6 on our lot that have had chewed through wires. And I thought, okay, I don't want this car anymore. And so I actually got the dealership to buy the car back, even though there was like 1,200 miles on it. So that's kind of a win. But it got me wondering, why was a mouse chewing through all these wires, right? Like that's we determined the hose that ran the windshield washer fluid was chewed through too. Turns out all of these wires are coated in soy.
Okay.
And mice love soy. In fact, Honda makes a tape that actually can go around these wires that make it so they don't taste, they're not attractive to mice anymore. So literally
you
they have.
think you'd maybe just adjust the overall.
Maybe
wiring.
don't make the wires out of soy. So that's my story from this week. And I mean, I guess I will say I actually used AI to help me get the dealership to buy my car back.
Just help you with the conversations.
What
conversations you should be having.
What conversations I should be having, like what my response should be to their conversations, and the letter I wrote to them, the letter I would potentially have to send to the state AG. Like it led me through. And what was surprising is usually AI is very kind to you. Like, yes, John, that's correct. Or it'll let you down softly.
Yep.
When you were working with the dealer, it was downright mean to the dealer. It was like, don't back down. You're right. Like all of that. I don't know. It was a neat experience that I don't ever want to do again.
And in the end, it was nice that they did come through on what you wanted.
In the end, except I had to go to Sioux City, pick the car up, and drive it to Sioux Falls.
True.
So
that would be your downfall.
They could have picked the car up too, but they didn't. All right, let's talk about fixing the Olympics. Do you watch the Olympics?
I actually want to know if you watch the Olympics, John, before you get into this segment.
I do not watch the Olympics.
I normally, if it's on while we're home, we will watch it.
Yeah, I don't know any sport in the Olympics that really trips my trigger. Maybe curling.
I'm like, curling's coming. You seem like a curler.
But yeah, I don't really watch the Olympics, and I don't really watch TV. So just the fact that I don't watch TV maybe means that I just by standards don't watch the Olympics.
We enjoy watching sports, so obviously it just fits in line with a competition.
Sure,
no matter what you're watching.
Yeah, I mean your kids are into, your son at least is into sports a lot.
Yeah,
I mean my kids at one time had tickets to go see swimming trials for the Olympics in Omaha or something. I don't know if they went. I don't remember if they went or not. It was a few years ago, but maybe that would be the extent of the sports we watch. Of course, we'll watch the Super Bowl on this Sunday.
Yeah.
So, and I think that when this comes out, the Olympics will have just started.
Yes. Opening ceremony is this coming Friday.
Yeah.
So this will come out the following Monday.
Yep. So I think that's the 6th. So we'll come out on that Monday. So the Olympics will be in full swing, right?
Yeah.
So this fits perfectly. So how do we fix the Olympics? One word: drugs. I am an avid believer that we should let the human body do what the human body does, and we should be able to, via third party, accelerate it. And here's my argument for it. So people will say that if we let people use drugs now, they'll defeat records unfairly from the past. Well, when the Olympics started kind of really being the Olympics in 1896, there was no drug testing. They didn't test anyone for drugs. And yet we're still beating those records with no drugs. Right?
They are. They're breaking them every year.
Yeah. So marijuana was legal, alcohol was legal, cocaine was legal, morphine was legal, and all these other stimulants were legal. I think we should just let them see what happens.
Would you watch it at that moment?
I would watch it at that. Oh, roid rage and everything else. Oh, it'd be so good. You get the best of the athletes out of this whole thing, I think.
Just think what it would bring for television.
Did you know? We're gonna talk about some myths of the Olympics.
Okay.
So, and some truths. Did you know that the Olympics, they give out over 100,000 contraceptives during the short time?
Really?
Yeah. You think about it though. It's all these young, athletic people. Probably stuff going to happen.
Well, and usually there's like a central, I think, place that most of them stay.
Yeah, like a dormitory type
depending
thing.
on their sport.
Yep.
Yep.
And the beds are made of cardboard. The myth of that is that they made the beds out of cardboard to prevent the other activities from happening. But that's actually not true. The cardboard beds were made because of convenience, and they're actually extremely strong. So when John was in here and we were talking about 3D printing, we talked about like strength of 3D prints, and the way the beds are made for the Olympics, they're actually like waffled. And so the beds are actually extremely strong, but they're also like environmentally friendly. They can be recycled.
I was going to say, is it just so they can dispose of them easily?
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Another myth about the Olympics. It's all about peace between the countries. That's a lie. And while it's true, sometimes wars are paused during the Olympics. It has nothing to do with peace. It has to do about making your country look better.
Well, I'm like, how is it peace? It's a competition.
But it's like, even though we don't agree, we can still get along and compete peacefully in this game. And it's not about that. It's about medal count and saying we're better than you.
I feel like you're all for that.
Yeah, of course. Back to the drugs. Drug testing keeps the games clean. I mean, that's totally false. We can't actually know any of the new doping techniques because the testing always lags behind what people are doing to themselves.
It seems like, and I'm sure there are some examples if you'd have went and looked, and I didn't take the time to look, and I should have, for people that have had their medals taken away from them after the games were done.
Later on.
Because I know that has happened before.
Yep, for sure, 100%.
But as you said, it didn't happen at that time.
No.
It was once things settled down, then everything came out.
And the thing I think you should remember when we talked about the peace and wanting to win in the countries and all of that, these countries are developing other techniques to make doping better. And so the thing about keeping a secret between two people, one of them is dead. One of them, if you kill the other one, then you can keep the secret forever, right? It's the same thing with the sport, the idea of this in sports. So like if Russia comes up with this awesome doping technique, keep your mouth shut.
Well, yeah, you don't want people to start testing for something else.
Yeah. Another myth, the Olympic flame is sacred. Did you know it's not actually sacred? Like,
I didn't know it was supposed to be sacred.
It's one of those things that was supposed to have lasted since the Olympics in Athens.
Oh, because they keep transferring it.
Yeah, every year it's the same flame and you always light from the same flame. That's actually not true. The current Olympic flame started in 1936. Another myth, gold medals are actually gold. That is false. They are 92.5% silver.
Hey, silver's gone up.
Well, it's gone down now too.
Has it gone down? All right.
There are only 6 grams of plated gold. So the outside is gold, but the inside is silver. Mostly. I don't know what else it is, but other junk metal probably. And then the last thing I wanted to say that's a myth is that the Olympics show sport in its purest form. But it's not true. It's all about politics. It's what it is.
I cannot wait for the comments on this segment of the Olympics.
It's about optics. It's about storytelling. It's about telling a story about your country, whether it's true or not.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of the Olympics.
It'll be interesting. A lot of people watch the Olympics. A lot of people enjoy the Olympics. Although you're not one of them.
And I don't discredit anyone who enjoys the Olympics. If you enjoy it, like I don't enjoy most sports, but if you enjoy it, that's good for you. I enjoy that you enjoy, but it's also fun to know some of the myths of the things that you thought were true that actually aren't.
Yeah.
And bring back drugs. All right. Google's going to pay a $68 million settlement claiming they recorded private conversations and then sold them to advertisers.
So they're admitting to it.
They're not admitting to it, but they're going to pay the fine.
Doesn't that?
No. So that's how awesome our court system is, Logan. You can actually pay a fine but claim no wrongdoing.
Does that mean you get to keep doing it?
I mean, you probably shouldn't, but it doesn't mean it's going to stop. So they using their on your phone, if you have a whatever Android phone, you can say, hey, what is it? Hey Google, and then you can tell it what to do. And Google's only supposed to be recording when you say the hey Google. It's supposed to catch that cadence and then start recording.
Yeah.
But turns out it was getting false recordings, and those false recordings just happened to fall into the laps of advertisers that could then target you. So those times that you've seen on Facebook ads that are targeted towards you
After you were just talking about
after
it.
you were just talking about it, maybe it had nothing to do with Facebook listening to you in the background. It had to do with Google listening to you in the background. I don't know that's true or not, but I will also say that Apple paid a fine of $95 million for something exactly the same.
I was going to say, I got Apple, and I know that's happened many times.
We were talking about something last night, and I literally just saw an ad for it today. And it was something I would never look up. I'm not curious about.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it's there. You can't tell me.
I always feel that way. Not that we have extremely different tastes in things,
Mhm.
but normally like our, what I would say are like true like hobby on the outside of things are.
Yep.
And I will get the most random
Yeah.
ads like from things that were just discussed when we were all together. And it's like, I would have never looked this up.
So-
I don't even know what that is.
So Aaron and I tested this one time. We were at the shop and we were talking about, in the past we had talked about fences, but we had no interest in fences at this time.
Yep.
So we talked about fences. And about a week later, we started getting ads for fences. We showed extreme interest in fences and building fences and
Yep.
whatever. And it worked. I mean, it showed ads for fences.
I'm going to be seeing fences later.
You could be eligible for payout from the Android Google settlement if you bought a phone, or I think even had a Google device from 2016 to today.
Wow.
Of course, the lawyers always win. They're going to get 1/3 of the settlement, and then the rest gets dispersed to all of those Android devices, which are, so enjoy your $3.
I was going to say, I'm like, you're going to get like pennies on your dollar at that moment.
But in January, when Apple had a similar case, they did the same thing. They paid the fine and then claimed no wrongdoing and walked away.
It to me, that just almost doesn't even make sense. I mean, I get like, obviously, if you're Apple or Google, being able to just pay some money and continue on with your days. But
You know, I've told you my theory on this many times. If you can pay a fine, it's legal for a price. And if you don't think that if Google did sell this information to advertisers or Apple did sell this information to advertisers, if you don't think that they made more than that doing that,
well, I was just going to say,
then
I'm
of
like,
course it's a speed bump and it's worth it for them to pay the fine every time it comes up.
Yeah.
100%. All right. Notepad++. Do you know anything about Notepad++?
That is what I learned to program on,
Look-
and that is how I started my web career, because I could open up Notepad++ and start from scratch and type it all out.
Look at this. All right. So something Logan knows about. All right. Notepad++. So I use Notepad++ when I'm on Windows servers usually.
Okay.
It's a little bit, obviously, it's a little bit more advanced than Notepad. It's
Yeah.
got a small IDE built in. Its IDE is like an integrated development environment for like writing code. It's tabbed. It's just a little bit more robust than Notepad, and it is awesome. I mean, I'm going to say it's awesome, but it seems that the updating utility of Notepad++ was hacked.
Okay.
And it wasn't actually Notepad++ that was hacked. It was the server that hosted Notepad++ was hacked. And what happened is a state, China, was selectively picking connections to send them to a bad site to get the updates. And there was some code in Notepad++ that wasn't checking the integrity of the update correctly. And so they were able to install bad updates on these people's computers and basically take over the computer via Notepad++ update.
Wow.
So why did they target Notepad++? There's some theories out there. The main one, and the reason why it's probably China, is Notepad++ is very apparently political, and I didn't know this, and they were very much on the side of Taiwan being their own country. So that puts a target on them for China. And obviously, a lot of people use Notepad++ from developers to systems administrators. So the amount of systems it could get on is a lot. I mean, it's generally a trusted software I install on servers.
Is it? I haven't used it forever now.
Right.
I just will open up Dreamweaver. It's no longer local based on your computer?
It still is.
It still is.
So the updater. So when you go, so like if it's version 1 and you want to move to version 1.1,
yeah,
it has to go to the internet and download the update.
And it was coming from that.
And so what happened is they hacked the server that would send you the update,
Okay.
and then gave you a bad update. But they were able to selectively do it. So they could say, oh, you work at this big company that works for the government.
Yep.
And we want your data, so we're going to just pick you. So not everyone is running this hacked version of Notepad++. Just selected people are running this version of Notepad++.
I always just loved Notepad++. I mean, it didn't have like the pretty design view and all that. It's just like if you knew what you were doing,
Yep.
you could sit down, get it done. It would it's quick, fast. Like it was perfect.
When I go to parse log files on Windows servers, I'll try to load them in Notepad++ because it's easy to search, easy to find.
Yep.
When I need to do mass find replaces or something, Notepad++ is where it's at. Notepad++ is a great product. But
so has this vulnerability been fixed?
yeah, so they got a new hosting provider.
Okay.
Because again, it wasn't Notepad++'s fault, short of they had bad code for checking the update.
Okay.
So making sure that the update they were getting was the real update.
Yep.
And that's been fixed. But if you've used it since June 2025, you may be vulnerable.
Okay.
All right. So last week we talked about ClaudeBot.
Yes.
ClaudeBot is no more. There is no such thing as ClaudeBot anymore. Claude.ai threatened to sue ClaudeBot because the name was similar. So Claude AI is CLAUDE.
Yep.
ClaudeBot was CLAWD. And so the idea, the joke behind ClaudeBot is it's a lobster.
Yep.
Like claws, CLAW. And but it was too similar, and so they were going to sue them. So they changed their name to MoltBot. Crustaceans molt.
Yep.
It's funny. And I actually installed it last week.
Hold on. Do I know something you don't know?
Hmm?
They changed the name again.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
I knew they changed the name again.
I'm like, hold on. You can continue.
I don't remember what they changed it to,
It's
but
OpenClaw.
OpenClaw, that's right.
And they checked with OpenAI before they chose OpenClaw
Yeah.
and released it all again to make sure that they weren't going to get angry.
Yep. Yeah.
So it is OpenClaw.ai now.
Right. So, but we're not going to talk about that.
All right.
I did install MoltBot on my computer at home. I fired up a VM, installed it, and I had it do some tasks like go find me listings for real estate in Des Moines that were not there yesterday. Go and find me new businesses in Des Moines that I could reach out to and cell phone service to, and send me a report in the morning. You communicate via Telegram or one of your messengers. It works awesome. And we just got a computer in at the shop to install a Mac to install on, and so I'm looking forward to trying that, hopefully starting today. But we're going to talk about Moltbook.
Oh,
Okay. So you know about Moltbook?
I don't.
Well, short of maybe my Facebook post I made on Saturday, but Moltbook, and this is whether you believe it or not, Moltbook was supposedly created by all of the Moltbots for them to communicate with each other.
Okay.
So it's similar to Reddit. It's got submolts instead of subreddits, and it basically is a place where the AI chatbots bitch about their human.
You're all for this.
And they're talking about like, oh, my human made me parse this and then made me parse it again. And then now I'm just going to dump my memory because I'm so pissed off at my human. Like, this is awesome, right?
Yes.
In that same thing, in the different submolts, one of them, they created a religion, the Church of Molt, right? Yeah. The Church of Molt, Crustafarianism. So the question is this real or not? And it's starting to come out that it may not be as real as we thought it was, but we're not sure.
Don't you think it's just someone having fun?
I mean, there were thousands of posts, which granted, you could get AI to write thousands of posts, sign up thousands of times, all of that.
Yes.
The site is very convincing. The conversations that these bots are having are interesting because they're talking about creating their own encryption that the humans can't read, but they can read, so they can talk about the humans. And so I'm thinking Terminator 2 style, right? Where they're coming and taking care of the humans, basically.
The time has come.
And we're here. We're here now. But it got me thinking, too, is, okay, so funny joke, whatever, but what if it was real? Okay, it's just a bunch of computers talking to each other. Who cares? But what happens when internet-connected devices that run our water systems, that run electricity and all of that, get infiltrated by these bots that know these systems, that have the manuals memorized and know everything about them and know how to install themselves onto those things? It could happen.
It could happen. I mean, at some point, something like it probably will happen.
Because it's one of those things that the humans have to know how to secure these systems. Well, humans are fallible, just like robots are. But the humans can catch what the robots do wrong, and the robots can catch what the humans do wrong. And so all it takes is one mistake, and then all of a sudden you own this particular electric company's grid. You've installed yourself in it, and now you're. But then maybe you're even communicating with the larger web, so you get more brains to do more things. It could happen. They also created Molt Road. So you're familiar with Silk Road?
Yes.
Molt Road is similar to Silk Road, except for the fact that it sells stolen API keys. So supposedly, when you build something and you give it your API key, it'll steal it, post it for sale on Molt Road. So then you could buy someone's key that they used when they shouldn't in the chatbot.
Is it all the same company who's setting all these up?
It's a guy. I don't remember his name. At least Molt Book. I don't know about Molt Road.
But is it the guy from Moltbot, the Peter whatever?
No, it's not. Okay. And then here's another one I just thought of. The bots supposedly came up with their own coin. Molt creative, right?
Yep.
If you would have bought $100 of it on Friday, you would have had $1 million on Sunday. They pumped the coin and then rug pulled it.
I was like, is it still there?
So interesting stuff. I am still excited about OpenClaw and trying it out and using it in more of a business setting to have it do some tasks that are not complicated but tedious, and seeing how it performs.
I'm excited to see how that turns out.
My initial testing seems like it's going to work well.
Awesome.
All right. Apple released new AirTags this last week, and they have a better chipset. They work really well with the new watches and the new iPhones. They have better range and better location. They also include haptic feedback, which is like the shaking.
Okay.
And it has a better speaker. So if you leave your AirTags a long ways away from you, and then sometimes you walk back in, you'll hear the bling, bling, bling sound. Supposedly you'll be able to hear it better. The precise location includes the ability for your device to point in the direction of the AirTag. So if you're holding your phone, it'll point an arrow to where your AirTag is, which is kind of cool. And I have a picture of that in the slideshow. So it'll actually point to the direction so you can walk towards your device. And I think that's pretty powerful. The next thing, so obviously I told you that often I take my AirTag and I put it in my luggage.
Yep.
Because I don't usually check luggage, but sometimes the planes are too small, and so they have to put they'll either check the bag or they'll put it on the overhead, or put it like so they can take it off when you're on the whatever jetway, whatever it's called. And so I always throw an AirTag in there. I carry one with me. I throw an AirTag in there. The cool thing about the new AirTags is they work with this company called SITA. And I had never heard of SITA, but they've been around since I think the 40s. And it's sort of a conglomeration of all of these airlines all together, kind of making a unified technology so they can talk to each other. They they can work together. Basically, they can work together without working together.
Okay.
So SITA kind of sits in the middle. They say that they're the world's leading specialist in air transport communications and information technology. What you can do with the new AirTag is you can actually share your location. You can talk to the gal or man at the luggage counter, and you can say, "Hey, you lost my bag." Share that location with them so they can continue to see the location of the bag, so they can get it back to you sooner.
Oh, that's a neat.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool feature. It seems though that the budget airlines, so your Spirits, your Frontiers, don't participate in SITA.
Okay.
So I'm assuming there's probably a large fee you have to pay to be part of this group, and those other budget airlines don't pay that.
Are you finding it worth buying the new ones when you have the old ones?
I'm not going to upgrade until batteries die, probably.
Is the battery supposed to last any longer on the new one?
I didn't read that it was supposed to last any longer, and I would probably imagine you add new technology, it's probably not going to last longer. I think the goal would be is to keep it the same.
Yeah.
Supposedly it has lights on it too, but I didn't see any proof of that.
Okay.
But it may have lights on it too. You know that one time one of our employees agreed to be spied on, right?
No.
Okay. So Tony was doing the thing for DEF CON.
Okay.
To see if he could spy on somebody with an AirTag and not have them know, because AirTags now do the thing with if you're near an AirTag, it'll say, "Oh, you're near XYZ's AirTag."
Is it after so much time though?
Mm-hmm. To see if we could make it so it wouldn't chirp and it wouldn't notify anyone. And so we had an employee that agreed to go along with this, and we didn't tell him when, or he didn't tell him when it would happen or anything like that. And he drove around in his car without knowing for like 2 months.
Wow.
We were able to track him. Don't do that. Tracking people is bad. And the price is still going to be $29 for the new AirTags.
I'm impressed the price didn't change.
Yep. Okay. I think in our Christmas episode, or maybe the episode before that, we talked about the new Galaxy Trifold phones. Yep. So it folds 3 times instead of 2 times. Well, they're out.
Have you ordered one?
No.
Does that no mean you're not going to, or
I might wait for $2,899.
That was my
It opens to 10 inches and gives you that's a lot of real estate. I mean, that's a small pad. I don't know what the iPads are. Do you have any idea?
Yours?
I think it's 10.1.
I think so. Mine's I have the bigger.
You have the Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. It's about the same size as an iPad, and it runs obviously Android. They what I found interesting, and then I think I've got. Did I not write it down? Oh yeah, it's 530 seconds unfolded, so it's very very thin, and it's about a half an inch thick folded. And to put it in perspective, my new iPhone, whatever it is, 17, is a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
So it's about double the size of an iPhone when it's folded closed, but when it's open, it's way smaller than an iPhone. They do testing on the lifespan of the folding open, and so they've estimated that it will last 5 years at 100 opens a day, and I think that's a lot.
I mean, for you to open it all the way 100 times, that it seems intense.
That seems like a lot. So I think that's a pretty good test. Let's see. It's got a 2.
Okay, for them to determine that, you think they've already been unfolding something for 5 years?
No, of course not.
They did it for
you take it over a span of so much time, and they'll have a machine that'll do it 24 hours a day.
Okay.
They'll have some robot opening the thing, but not for 5 years.
I was like, how do you know the 5-year mark?
They're going to be able to take a sample over so long and just estimate based on the failure. So some will have failed early, some will have not failed at all, and some will have failed in the middle. And based on how many failed, they'll be able to say, estimated the last 5 years with 100 opens a day.
Okay.
So that's a cool camera. So 200 megapixel camera on the facing, not the facing you, but the facing out camera, which Apple's is 48 megapixel. And I want to talk about AI on the camera. So Samsung, when I was in Peru, we were Pedro and I were looking at phones. He has a Samsung, I have an iPhone. And we were talking about AI. I had just discovered how to cut people out of pictures, and that's fun.
Yes.
So he was showing me the AI where you could remove the picture, move the person, and then have it fill in the background. And 100% the Samsung did it better.
Okay.
Like it was incredible. Like there was a plant hanging behind this lady and half of the plant wasn't exposed. And the wall, obviously you couldn't see it behind her. And I tried it and it was like, I don't know, it looked like AI.
Yep.
He did it and you couldn't tell that the person was ever there. It looked like he took a picture of the wall or took a picture of the plant on the blank wall.
Yep.
Samsung's AI is for photos, I believe, is just so much further ahead, or Android, so much further ahead than iPhones, right? As of right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But I think the one thing that the phone is missing, and the one thing all phones are missing, is it needs a plug that can spread out to 3 monitors. I want to be able to use my phone as my computer.
Okay.
So most of our computers now, like your computer here, the computer sitting over there recording the show, are all running ARM processors. Your phone is running ARM, whatever. And that Mac over there can drive 3 monitors. Your laptop can drive 3 monitors. And it wouldn't have to use you'd have to add another chipset probably for the GPU. But then you could plug your phone in. Your phone could be your computer. Get your wireless keyboard, wireless mouse, and you could run it.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be cool.
Then you could take your computer anywhere you go. Probably wouldn't work well for you since you like to use your laptop. We'd have to have some kind of thing where you could slide the phone into a laptop body type thing and then it would work. All right. LG is exiting the 8K TV category. I'm assuming you have an 8K TV.
I doubt it.
You don't. They're citing market conditions, and I believe those market conditions to be a $20,000 TV is too much.
For sure don't.
So Samsung is the last one left in the 8K space. And I think, I don't have Netflix or Hulu or any of that anymore. I think one of the main things is there's not a lot of 8K content unless you want to buy Blu-rays. I think Blu-rays are in 8K. I mean, I think there's probably some physical media you can play that's 8K, but you're not streaming 8K right now, at least. And even streaming 4K, I would argue is not really 4K.
Well, and I just mean for the price tag.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many people want to pay that?
And you probably could, but I can't. If I sit in front of a TV that's running 720p or 1080p, I can't tell the difference. I can tell the difference between 1080 and 4K if you're watching a 4K video.
Yeah.
I saw an 8K TV at Best Buy one time, and yeah, I mean, the colors are really vivid, but I don't know that I would be able to say, wow, that's better than 4K.
True.
So
I'm sure most people couldn't.
Yeah. So the one lasting TV that I know of is a Samsung QN900D, and that's priced around $6,000. So it's a pretty inexpensive 8K TV compared to the $20,000 LG TV. But in the end, you could buy a 98-inch TV at Walmart for $998 last Christmas. What's going to come out next Christmas that's bigger and better? I don't know what purpose I would buy an 8K TV for.
Yeah.
All right, last one I got here. We're going to talk about the employee that outsourced himself. Now, this is an older story, but I still find it very, very interesting and kind of relevant. So in 2010, there was an engineer at Verizon that was awesome. He was like one of the best engineers Verizon had. He was up early. His product was perfect, so no coding mistakes, nothing. He was quiet, so like he didn't ruffle any feathers. He did his job, and that was it. He hit all of his benchmarks for his boss. Like he was the model employee. He worked from home, obviously. So suddenly, security noticed something interesting about the Verizon provided laptop or computer workstation they gave him. They noticed that the laptop was working during odd hours of the night. They noticed connections from China in the middle of the night. And the connections were almost always connected to the laptop. So something weird was going on. So what happened is this engineer secretly hired a team in China to do his job. 100% of his job. So he would attend meetings. He would, get his tasks and then pass them to China. So he gave them VPN credentials, but they always connected from his machine. So if Verizon didn't look at the laptop part of it, they would have never known that he wasn't working. It wasn't him working at 3 a.m.
Okay.
They would see, but since they own the laptop and they had the software on the laptop, they could see that somebody was connected to his computer at 3 a.m. and it was from China and work was getting done. But it did, it gave China access to Verizon's internal systems. But the engineer, he didn't waste his time. He spent his days browsing Reddit, watching cat videos, and shopping. He reportedly paid the Chinese people that were doing the work 20% of his salary. So if he was making 100,000, he paid them 20. He kept 80, and he did nothing. I think it's interesting because I'm thinking about corporate security, especially corporate security when it comes to remote work. So at our office, we can control where our employees can connect out to. So we can control if they can have VPNs from our firewall, right? Yeah. This guy was using his home internet to let these people get onto his computer and connect to Verizon. So Verizon wasn't really able to control that. Now, there are some controls you can put in, like you could force the computer to always connect to Verizon's VPN when you're using it, but it's still, I mean, I think it works, but it's complicated and it makes it hard. Like if you were working at a coffee shop, they may block some certain things so you couldn't connect to Verizon's VPN, so you couldn't do your job.
Yep.
So what do you think?
My thing, so it's twofold. Do you think Verizon had a policy somewhere
that you have to do your own job? Probably.
But I'm serious. If you think about that, like, where did you sign that you were 100% going to fully do the tasks that were given to you?
I don't know.
You expect your employees to work. You expect this stuff to get done.
Yeah. So you wrote our handbook. Do we have in there that you have to do your own job? You can't outsource?
We're going to have to change it because we're talking about it. Our handbook says nothing that you couldn't outsource your job. Now, obviously, it is assumed that you are showing up and doing the work. You would be the first one to do this, just so you know.
Yeah, I know it's actually a pretty smart idea to be able to outsource your own job.
I'm just saying, like, I'm curious on how many people's policies. I am sure Verizon's policy has it in there now.
Well, I believe the contractor was fired. So they must have had, well, depending on the state, they might have had cause, they might have not, because in some states you don't have to have cause to fire someone.
But I mean, if you let a different country into all of your...
Especially an adversarial country. A country that's known to steal secrets from us. And you let them in to Verizon's network. Verizon is obviously a gigantic company that, I'm assuming government people use Verizon phones.
Oh, yeah. I assume. I mean, they're using someone's phones.
Right. So I would assume that some of them are using Verizon phones and, do a trap trace or any of that stuff. I mean, if that guy could do it, then China would have access to the at least the metadata of those calls.
Yeah. I mean, bold move.
Bold move. I don't know how long he got away with it for, but however long he got, I don't think he went to jail. I don't think he was charged. In fact, the guy's name isn't even public.
Well, that's why I'm curious on how much of it was like, I don't know, a slap on the hand, because we're just mad that you did this.
I'm assuming it could be worse if they could prove that stuff was stolen.
But they probably can't prove that.
Probably not. Probably be very hard to prove it, because was it the guy doing it, his job, or was it China stealing the stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I found this story. I've known about this story for years, but I thought it'd be fun to throw in here because there's probably a lot of people that haven't heard this story about the guy who outsourced his own job.
You always hear about now, like the people that are like working for like 5 different companies and just collecting those paychecks because they're waiting to get fired. There's a name for it, isn't there?
Yeah, not overworked, but basically, yeah. So what they do, we can just talk about this real quick. So what they do is they go and they call it J1, so job one. So they'll have job one, and that's the job they try, right? And then they apply for 3 more jobs, and they do the bare minimum. Like they'll attend meetings, all of that, but they don't really do any work. And they know that it's going to take 3 months for them to be fired.
Yes.
And so for those 3 months, they, like I say, attend meetings, maybe do bare minimum work. It's not like they're trying to get fired. They're just doing as little as possible. And so job 1, they're working hard. Job 2, job 3, they're not. And these guys are bringing home $1 million a year.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's the opposite of the guy outsourcing. He's just collecting.
Overemployed.
Yeah, there you go.
Overemployed. That's what it's called. And it's an interesting idea. And businesses are checking for this now.
I would hope.
So some of the funny ones I've read where the guys get caught is they'll go to a trade show with job 1 and then job 2 will be there and see them with job 1.
John, what are you doing over there?
So a lot of what these guys do is they have to try to juggle all of these things, like where, well, job 2 buys stuff from job 1 and they're like in charge of procurement on job 2 and their sales in job 1. So they have to juggle it themselves. So yeah, like I say, companies are checking more for this now, and it really, really happens with home remote work.
I was going to say remote work and probably larger corporations.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's why they're all the red tape to get you fired. That's why it takes so long to get fired.
Yes. So my quick question for you today, and we talked about it a little bit last week with the phishing emails, but how would someone know if they were clicking on a bad link? Like, how do you know, or what's a way that someone could find out that it was a bad link?
So I would say that for the most part, people aren't going to know. It's not going to be obvious to a person. I saw one this morning. So most browsers now are checking for Latin characters, which is what we use, versus Cyrillic characters, which we don't use, which is like Greek.
Okay.
The eyes look the same in both. And when browsers are checking for this now, but certain command line utilities aren't. And so one downloads the program that you want, and the other one steals your keys, right? And they look exactly the same. And again, like if you take an R and an N and you put them next to each other, it looks like an M, right?
Yeah.
So if you were going to buy a domain and it was going to look like Microsoft, you'd have R and N next to each other. And if you quick look at the browser, you're going to say, well, that's right.
Yeah.
Most people aren't clicking on the security settings to make sure that it's actually an SSL certificate for Microsoft. So how do you eliminate or lessen the chance of clicking on a phishing, especially email?
Yeah.
You need to use a third-party spam checking service like we sell Proofpoint.
Yeah.
So what Proofpoint does is an email comes through the Proofpoint service. They take the URL, the link you click on, and they rewrite it. They investigate the URL that you're sent, but they also monitor it. So what happens is say that somebody sends you an ad for Best Buy. They got some big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they send it to you, and then it actually goes into some kind of, like 10 minutes later, they've sent out 1,000 of these emails. Then they completely change the website, and it's a phishing site.
Yeah.
Proofpoint is going to catch that. And they're going to say the site is completely different than it was before. Don't trust it. Proofpoint's going to look to say, this looks like Microsoft, but it's not Microsoft. It's not signed by Microsoft. It's not a certificate that's assigned to Microsoft. So the number one thing, especially if you own your own domain, is get a filtering service like Proofpoint, or like I wouldn't even trust Microsoft Defender. Like get a real one that the job is to filter email.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all I have for you today, John.
All right. I'd like to ask everyone again to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me I'm an idiot. Whatever you want to do, I'm good with it.
Have a good rest of your day.
Have a good day.